tariff refunds, eagerly awaited. That's after the February Supreme Court ruling that the president had illegally invoked the International Emergency Economic Powers Act to impose tariffs. Well, yesterday, US Customs and Border Protection launched a tariff refunds claims portal, and characteristically, I have been nerdily checking it out, going straight to that website. Well, under this program, US importers of record who range from retailers like Target and Walmart to brands like Gap and Nike to shippers like UPS and FedEx are due more than $160 billion in tariff refunds. The big question for the markets is how long will it take for the importers to get their hands on refund cash, plus interest paid on that, by the way. And then what would happen with that refund once received? Would it make its way back to consumers? Well, UPS said this week that it will work to request and retrieve tariff refunds from Customs and Border Protection, that's CBP, on customers' behalf. And FedEx has also said that its process is, quote, straightforward. If funds are issued to FedEx, it will in turn send that cash to shippers and consumers who paid those charges. Still, UPS has noted that refunds could take up to 3 months to reach it in the first instance, and FedEx and UPS, in doing the lift for the customers that it has, are clearly taking on a ton of admin. And you can see that because I browsed myself through the tariff refund portal, which is called, incidentally, the Consolidated Administration and Processing of Entries, or CAPE. And by the way, there are a lot of acronyms involved in this whole process and on that portal. Well, what CAPE does is allow importers of record to submit refund requests online using CSV files, so this is old school, and then Customs and Border Protection will then process those requests in batches. It's guiding applicants to, quote, anticipate that valid IEEPA refunds will generally be issued within 60 to 90 days following acceptance of the CAPE declaration, unless a compliance concern requires further CBP review. So in theory, the process looks efficient, even reading the website, even though it actually could use a little bit of design work to spruce itself up. But major US companies are in wait-and-see mode with respect to see how execution actually goes. The Walmart CFO, John David Rainey, is on the record as saying he didn't think the refund process would happen quickly. There's also a legal question for companies claiming refunds if tariff costs were passed on to their customers. There was one analysis from Harvard Business School's pricing lab which found in January that retail tariff pass-through contributed about 0.75% to the All Items Consumer Price Index. That was by October of last year, so evidence of those costs being passed on. That was within 5 to 6 months of those Liberation Day tariffs coming into effect. Which leaves an open question of the chances that if a company goes to claim refunds, that it's just going to get sued by its own customers. So there's $160 billion of money to follow now. We're going to keep on watching.